game changes, the weather, sort of similar to baseball on Saturday. Not that, I'm sure not the finish that you wanted from the team, but another 30-win season for you. I mean, you finished third in conference. Just your overview of how the season ended.
Obviously, there's disappointment after a game. You've won the conference tournament, and this team has been fortunate enough to win the last 3. So you kind of forget that there's a shot that you're not gonna. And overall, just proud of our kids, proud of the effort they came out and they were resilient. They did what we asked them to do. We always talk to our kids about, we want to play hard, we want to be selfless, we want to be resilient, and had a lot of adversity. The way they handled it, I thought showed some maturity within a young group. Came out with great effort, energy, compete really hard. Just played a lot of stressful games this year. When you take back the season, you look back at I think 21 one-run games, contests. That's a lot of stress going on in that environment. So obviously not the season that we want, or expect to have, and expectations of the program. But as far as in wins and losses, but expectations of the program of young people being prepared for life after softball. I think our seniors that are leaving are prepared for life after softball. I think our players that are in the program showed how to be good people, and they showed how to work hard and be good in the classroom. So, there's a lot of accomplishments that I'm very proud of that aren't in the W's and L's columns. Like every year, I think those things have to come into play when you talk about evaluating your program and how your players did. So from that aspect, very, very pleased with our team on and off the field. So, the weekend was a grueling week. Disappointing loss to Northwestern to start off the tournament. Thought we played pretty well and let the game get away from us at the end with a lead. But we came back and played a tough Southeastern team. That game, it was, I think Caroline settled through a gym. I mean, that's the story of that game is, I think she got through a complete game in under 70 pitches. That's competing and fighting contact really good. We're able to scratch a run, come out with a victory, played a grueling game against SFA. 11 innings. That's an exciting game. Even from a fan standpoint, you saw 3 double plays. You saw us. I thought Celine did an excellent job. We got in some jams, and she was able to pitch out of them pretty consistently. I think they had bases loaded twice with 1 out, couldn't scratch a run, and we get out of it a couple times at second and third with 1 out, and they didn't scratch a run. So they had traffic, and they were putting pressure on us. Our kids were competing hard, and we're able to, I think in the 11th, we get the 2-run knock from Tony. She was grinding out. Tony had been putting some good swings on some pitches, didn't have much to show for it. And then added a run with RBI from Justice, and then come back in nightcap again. We turn around and play 11 inning game, and 20 minutes later start another game. And so our kids went out there and played 18 innings of softball back to back, and an elimination game. And they didn't complain, they didn't do it. We come out, we jumped out on them early and thought we had the right stuff, had a 4-0 lead and give up the solo home run, and man, the game just kind of creeped away from us with a little fish job, like over third base, hits the line, kicks, scores 2 more runs, then another one over first base side, scores a run. I think we managed it, and 2 outs, they get the big grand slam. They get a couple infield hits and a questionable call, and loaded the bases, didn't get the knock, and we didn't have much answer for it after that. Landry was pitching well. So obviously not the outcome we wanted in the tournament. We want to continue and play well. I think, unfortunate thing is you learn and you're humbled sometimes, and you learn how to get better. And the same reason you love this game, it has so much to offer, is the same reason it rips your heart out and soul out sometimes. But once you get back home, when you're able to reflect on what your kids did and what kind of people they're becoming, and you start looking at grades and see what we were able to do in the classroom, you can't help but be proud of them. We're very fortunate that we get an option to continue our season this week, and that's big for our players. And we had a practice this morning, and again, they never cease to amaze me. They come out with a ton of energy. They're excited, hooping and hollering out there, banging balls off out of the park, and it was a short practice, but a very effective practice, and we had great energy and great effort from our players. So I'm excited to see how we responded from a tough weekend.
can't go into the tournament thinking you're going to play 18 innings in 2 games. I mean, how do you attack that kind of a challenge? Because I mean, it looked like the girls. I mean, after 11 innings and that high, emotional high of hitting the 2-run bomb and getting the win, and 20 minutes later, 0-0, new game, new opponent. How do you approach that game, or was there something you wish you could have done better?
Not played 11 innings the first time. I don't know. I don't know. We got to give Coach Kyle, I guess, our strength and conditioning coach, and see if we could add some kind of stressful workout to emulate that. And NCAA would have to extend our hours of time in practice, because how can in the time? Think about this: just in the time that you're allotted to practice, you cannot one time duplicate that day. It's impossible to duplicate it. The stress, the emotion going up. What you do hope is the players that come back, that experience from going through that game and being involved in it, we grow from it and learn from it. As far as doing anything different, I don't think there's anything different we could do. I mean, there's the X's and O's difference. Maybe you kind of second guess yourself on some moves you make, or would I've done something different. But I mean, as far as the conditioning, being prepared, I thought we were prepared. I thought that they were a good team with some veterans. Nichols is. I mean, they had 8 or 9 players that had been in that situation before, and they were sitting around waiting to play us and looking forward to playing us. And they got the job done, and we just fell short of getting it done that day. But I don't think we could do anything as far as preparation goes.
And now, this week, like you say, you get to play postseason softball, and you get to play a team that you just played. I guess do you know anything about, besides SFA, do you know anything about the other teams that you're gonna be, you could be facing, or will be facing?
Yeah, I mean, I know we're gonna face Middle Tennessee right off the bat. Middle Tennessee, we played them last year. They're usually an offensive dominated team. They swing the bats really well. Big physical team. For us, they're strong. And they hit. And they hit us hard last year. We played in the tournament in Florida, so we have a little bit of experience against them. I don't know how many players are returning from that team, but I think I don't have the record in front of me, but I think they're a 36-win team, if I'm not mistaken. So, and UT, the other team in the regional is UTA, which is also another strong team, a 30-something win team. I think everybody in the regional has 30 wins. So they're going to be a good softball team, as well as SFA that we just played. They beat us in a series, and it took us 11 innings to beat them this last time. So that's a competitive regional. When you look at it, it's a winnable regional, but very, very difficult road. Whoever gets to that final, everybody's going to have to play really good softball to be able to come out of that regional. So. All I could hope for is that we go down and play good softball, and that we kind of grow from last week. And I feel like the last 2 weeks we've played better softball than we had early in the year, making fewer mistakes. Even though the numbers didn't show for us scoring runs, we actually started putting really good swings on pitches, not having a lot to show for it sometimes, but the quality of bats have definitely gone up over the last 2.5, 3 weeks of the season. Hopefully continue that.
I know you do have the postseason, so I guess you don't want to look too far ahead. But looking towards next year, you bring all of your pitchers back. I guess you have the seniors that you do have to replace. But it seems like the hitting, like you said, it progressed towards the end of the season, and the pitching was pretty strong in the defense. So I guess what's the early look into the 2020 season?
Yeah, I think it's a little too early to answer that question today. I'm focused on, we got a regional play right now, and I still, especially being out there with their team this morning, I owe it to my players. Our players owe it to each other to stay focused on this team and do our best job that we could possibly do. So we're all aware of things that could happen in the future, but that's part of being a good team is, can you avoid those things? Can you avoid trying to look into the future? Can you avoid not looking into another game? Can you find a way to actually be in the moment and play that, make sure your head and feet are located in the same spot? And that's our challenge. And if we can do that now, then that's growth for the future of our program as well, because that's going to help us mature and make sure that we can compete day in and day out. So that's really our focus right now. Kind of felt like we have a second life right now, and we want to make sure we take advantage of it.
Good. Mm-hmm. All right. Thanks, coaches.